vinyl community, this is Glenn. This video really just give you an update on how my vinyl collecting is going. There's been a lot of exciting things happen over the past couple of weeks. I've been ordering some vinyl, some used stuff, and some new stuff that's coming through the door. I want to show you that. And I had some other exciting news too, so I'll show you the new vinyl arrivals first. This was used. I got Let It Be. This is 1973 edition. It says manufactured in Britain but sold in France. It is on Apple label. Really nice pressing. Sounds great. It's got a bit of tape on here, but it's black, so you can't see it anyway. So that's so it's not a perfect cover, but really nice vinyl. I asked my friend at Zap Records if he had Procol Harum Salty Dog, which is one of my favorite albums, and it's kind of on my list to pick up. He ended up giving me this, or selling me this. I'd never seen this before. When I first got it, I thought it was maybe just an obscure cover from Europe or something, but it turns out it's a compilation album. It's songs from their first 3 releases. So it has Homburg on it, She Wandered Through the Garden Fence, Milk of Human Kindness, The Devil Came from Kansas, A Salty Dog is on here obviously, Magdalene, My Regal Xenophobe, Shine On Brightly, Boredom, Conquistador, Your Own Choice, Rambling On, and Pilgrim's Progress. It's a really nice album. The label is EMI MFP. I've never seen this before, but it's a nice album to have until I actually do get Salty Dog. I'm looking forward to picking that up. It's one of my favorite albums. Love Procol Harum. In regards to Procol Harum, I also got this. Procol Harum Live with the Edmonton Symphony. Another one, just a great live album. Gary Brooker's vocals on this are incredible. The song selections are great with Salty Dog and Wailing Story and Conquistador, which was the single. It was a big hit for them as a single, the live version off of this album. And the whole second side is In Held 'Twas in I, Life is a Beanstalk, isn't it? Great prog song that takes up the whole side. It's really done well here with the orchestra. Love this album. Sounds great too. Abbey Road. This is the latest edition of this album that Giles Martin did in 2019. I really like the sound of the mixes he did on this album. I think it sounds really good. I know some people are panning it, but I'm quite impressed. One of my favorite albums of all time, probably top 5, Van Morrison, Astral Weeks. Love this album. When this album came out, it was totally mind-blowing, totally different from anything else we'd ever heard. After really, it was just well, besides the Them songs, it was just blowing your mind with Brown Eyed Girl, which is one of the great singles of all time. And then when this album came out and I bought it and put it on, and what the heck is that? It was just a total about face, different from what anybody else was doing. Great album. It stood the test of time. I was fortunate enough to see Van tour this album at Massey Hall in 1968 or 60, maybe early 69. Can't remember the date, but it was quite a show to see him perform all these songs live. When I had sold my records back 10 years ago, I think it was about 8 years ago, I had this album and loved it. George Harrison's Early Takes. This is outtakes and demos from All Things Must Pass. It's got some great selection of songs here. On My Sweet Lord, Run of the Mill, I'd Have You Anytime, All Things Must Pass, Waiting on You All, and Behind That Locked Door from All Things Must Pass. It's they're really nice, just basically acoustic demos. He also does some amazing covers on this. Beautiful song, Let It Be Me, which I think is an Everly Brothers song, but I could correct me if I'm wrong. He does that, and he does Mama, You've Been On My Mind, the Dylan song. And he does a blues song to start side 2, I Don't Want You to Cry For Me. Really cool album. It sounds really good. It's an excellent record. And last but not least, for new vinyl, I'm a big fan of Indian music. I don't have any Ravi Shankar albums. I have a few on CD, so I ordered this Ravi Shankar Music of India. Great album. Loving it. So, if anybody who's following me on my Instagram page, which is Low End Music Freak, or on my VC videos, you'll know that I've just, I'd say a year and a half ago, I won a turntable in a raffle and bought, a few records here and there. Really wasn't too serious about it. Was really just collecting CDs mostly. Then I don't know what happened. A few months ago, it just something clicked. I had an epiphany and just said, I'm really digging the vinyl, and I bought a new turntable, and I've been buying records off and on, as you can see what I just showed you. So I have a really old friend. His name's Gord. Gord and I have known each other for 50 years. We met in 1970 in grade 10. It was his first year of grade 10 and my second year of grade 10. I like grade 10 so much I did it twice. Regardless, we became best friends very quickly, and we've been close friends ever since. Gone through a lot together, so love you, Gord. Gord called me a couple of weeks ago. We were talking on the phone. He mentioned he had a few records in his basement. Said I was welcome to them. So I made a date to go over, and to my amazement, when I showed up, he had 2 milk crates full, plus another stack about this high, probably about 160 records. I was overjoyed and stunned and surprised and smiling from ear to ear. I couldn't be happier. It's all stuff we've been listening to since we met. There's some Beatle albums and Zeppelin and Stones and Zappa, and we were big Charlie Daniels fans. We actually saw Charlie Daniels at the El Macombo in Toronto. I remember between sets going up to the roadie and talking to him for a minute, and he said to me how amazed he was because the band was playing in football stadiums in Tennessee, and they're up in Toronto playing in a bar that holds about 200 people. So that was a great night. We saw lots of concerts together and did all kinds of stuff together, and through kids being born and marriages and parental loss, everything, we've gone through a lot together. But anyway, Gord's a great guy, and he has no idea how much I appreciate what he did for me last week. I want to show you just a few of the records. Physical Graffiti. This was on my list of some things to buy. It's actually in great condition. Really happy to have that. Probably my second favorite Doors album, LA Woman. I love the first one the best, but this is a great album. Exile on Main Street. I saw the Stones, first time I saw them in 1972. It was the Exile on Main Street tour at Maple Leaf Gardens. Stevie Wonder opened the show. Still my favorite concert of all time. One of my favorite albums of all time. So happy to get that. My favorite album cover of all time, and I love the record too, Disraeli Gears. Great album. My second favorite Bob Dylan album, Blood on the Tracks. Blonde on Blonde is my favorite, but this one's a close second. Great album. The stuff that I picked up from Gord is just amazing. I'm just loving it. Boz Scaggs' first album. This album is essential just to have one song even, is Loan Me a Dime, the long blues song where Duane Allman plays guitar. That's a great song and a good album to have. Rolling Stones' Black and Blue. I'm a big fan of this album. Some people panic. I think it's a really good album. I love Melody and Fool to Cry. It's a great album. Billy Preston does some great keyboard stuff on that album. ZZ Top, Eliminator. Incredible album. Love that. Great rocker. So that's only a few of them. Like I said, there's like 150, 160 albums. When I brought the albums home, I went into my garage and I spent about 3 hours going through them, and I picked out the ones that really excited me the most and checked the condition of them, and found about, I think it's 70 some albums that were in really good playable condition. Didn't have to do anything to them, and was just so excited about that. There was another pile of about 30 albums that look like they needed a good cleaning to see if they'd be in good condition. Some of them I've had to kind of put aside, they're too scratched. Some of them are cleaning up really well. It's fun just to do that. There's another pile still in the garage I got to go through. This can take me probably a couple of months to do it properly, but it's exciting and fun to do, especially when we're self-isolating and sitting at home. It's been fun. So last but not least, I got a record cleaning machine. I used to have an Okinoki machine. When I sold my vinyl back 8 years ago, I sold the machine too. I liked the Okinoki, it did a good job. The one thing I didn't like about it is I found it was hard to maintain. It gummed up really easy and you had to really make sure you were keeping it clean. I guess like everything, yeah, it needs maintenance, but I just found it was just a bit too much. So I found this machine, I don't know where I heard about it, maybe on Canuck Audio Mart, which is a Canadian audio website forum. They had a guy in there talking about a record cleaning machine called a Squeaky Clean. I don't know if any of you guys are aware of this, or I'm the last guy to the parade. I'm not sure, but anyway, here it is. So what you get, it's first of all the price. It's $144 delivered to my door. You're paying anywhere from $600 to $1,500 for a VPI or an Okinoki. So what happens, what you get is just a simple platter like that. That's it, manual, it spins. There's a little connector here that just clips onto the bottom of it, really simple. You get a puck, so you put your record on here, put the puck on here, spray your fluid here and here. You get this piece here as your cleaner to put on for the vacuuming. When you're ready, you just spin it by hand. So for the vacuum part, I went to Home Depot in Canada and bought for $49.99 a vacuum cleaner. It plugs in here like that. You plug in these. And that's it. So if anybody's looking for a record cleaning machine and doesn't want to spend a fortune, this is a great thing to consider. I'm loving it. I've cleaned about 10 records with it so far, and it's been fantastic. I can't speak highly enough of it. I used to have one of those yellow disc washer things where you know the plastic thing, you stood the record up and you had to spin it around in the fluid, and I hated that thing. This is fantastic. I absolutely can't speak highly enough about it. For $200, I'm cleaning vinyl. So anyway, that's it for today. Thanks so much for watching the video, and as I get more stuff, I'll certainly keep everybody informed, and thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I would really appreciate it. I have 67 subscribers and would love to see that get up into the triple digits if I could. Thanks again. I really appreciate your support. Bye-bye.